for those that not already diagnosed with diabetes. Visit our website, truckersfund.org, and take the quiz assessment under the Health and Wellness tab. This prevention program is sponsored by Southern Recipe. Get registered today at truckersfund.org.
WLWY-AM, the home of the Ben Shapiro Show, and heard on 95.1 HP3 FM, Montgomery, the Cumulus Media Station. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We learned overnight officials believe former President Trump misled investigators trying to recover sensitive government information. He moved from the White House to his home in Palm Beach. Correspondent Linda Kenyon is in Washington.
The Justice Department states classified documents were likely concealed and removed
from
Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate as part of an effort to obstruct the federal investigation. It also says the FBI seized 33 boxes containing more than 100 classified records during its search on August 8th. The court filing comes ahead of a request by Trump attorneys to appoint a special master to review the documents taken during the FBI search.
The Justice Department says there's no need for a third party because all of the documents have already been reviewed. Bottled water selling out in Jackson, Mississippi, where people are struggling to deal with a crisis becoming more critical by the minute. Correspondent Jim Kursula is there.
Flooding from heavy rain last week caused problems with the city's trouble-prone water treatment plants.
Praying that this be over in a couple days, so we'll have to keep going back 4 or 5 water and the water system was to be able to use the tap water.
Owners of businesses that had to close are furious, demanding someone in a leadership position be held accountable.
Water pressure is so low it's impossible to shower or flush toilets. Lawmakers in South Carolina's House have passed an abortion ban that makes exceptions for rape and incest. It would outlaw the procedure after 12 weeks of pregnancy. The bill moves on to the state Senate. There's been a historic decline in the number of years Americans can expect to live. CBS's Alex Tim.
U.S. life expectancy at birth has fallen for a second year in a row, according to new federal estimates, dropping from 77 to 76.1 years as of 2021. That's the biggest back-to-back drop in roughly a century, according to the CDC.
Today marks 25 years since Princess Diana was killed in a car accident. CBS's Elaine Cobb is in Paris.
A quarter of a century after her death, tourists still stop to pause as they cross the bridge over the tunnel where the fatal crash took place. Some leave scrolled sympathy notes at the makeshift shrine to Princess Diana.
We didn't know that this would be here. Beautiful.
We still remember exactly where we were when we heard that she died.
I suppose her legacy will live on forever.
Diana was 36. The last surviving member of the Monkees is suing the FBI. Mickey Dolenz wants to set the record straight after a heavily redacted file from 1967 appears to show the TV pop band was being investigated for allegedly spreading subliminal anti-Vietnam War messages during their shows. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results.
Right there. And it was editing. There we go, right there, right there.
Put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681.
The new date for getting NASA's Artemis 1 rocket off the ground is Saturday.
Mission managers say engineers will work on technical issues at the launch pad. The engine chill-down process that was Monday's showstopper will now start earlier in the countdown. Space Launch System Program Manager John Honeycutt says he likes what he's seeing.
I think we've got enough data to put the story together, but we've still got to go put the pieces together.
Forecasters say there's just a 40% chance of favorable weather at launch time, but they're optimistic for a break in the showers and thunderstorms sometime during that 2-hour launch window. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
They have a problem at grocery stores in New Jersey. Ever since the statewide plastic bag ban went into effect in May, shoppers have been walking off with plastic handheld baskets. The head of local Superfood Town store says the light load options to carts are disappearing so quickly, they may have to do away with them because they can't afford to keep paying for replacements. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show. 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440. Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Discover. We could talk about how complicated other banks make it to redeem credit card rewards. Or we could talk about how with Discover you can redeem
Nothing like,
cash in any
nothing
amount.
like,
Talk about amazing.
nothing like.
Terms apply.
Most everyone is entirely dry today. There's just a 10% chance of a shower or storm in far southern Alabama. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine after some morning clouds and fog get out of here. Temperatures up into the low 90s. The humidity is high through about lunchtime, and then it actually drops through the afternoon. Lower humidity tonight, mostly clear. Low temperatures, upper 60s to low 70s. That'll feel pretty good. We'll have isolated storms tomorrow, scattered to numerous storms for the holiday weekend. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Your Wednesday kicks off with no
Hump
major
day.
accidents. Nothing's being reported
Hump
by the authorities.
day.
Since you want an alternate route, you keep listening, and we'll keep you
For
posted
with
with the
much
latest and most
wisdom
accurate traffic conditions
comes
on the radio.
much sorrow.
Learn to be a heavy equipment
The more
operator at
knowledge,
Trenton State.
the more
Registration
grief.
is now open. Get trained and hired fast. Trenton
That's
State.
true.
Skills for success. Buckle up, front and back. It's the law.
Isn't that the truth?
This is major delay. Good morning, I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Wednesday. President Joe Biden spoke in Pennsylvania last night where he called on Congress to revive a long-expired federal ban on assault-style weapons. The president laid out the framework of his Safer America plan. He's also asking Congress to give more than $10 billion in funding to local police departments in the next 5 years. First it was flooding, now the water is causing a different problem in Jackson, Mississippi. It once again has a water problem. Right now, the city's water system can't produce enough safe water for the residents. More than 150,000 people in Jackson are looking for drinkable water. The city's main water treatment plant failed. It remains under a state of emergency. And a man credited for peacefully bringing an end to the Cold War who died. Tuesday afternoon, Russian media reported the death of former USSR President Mikhail Gorbachev. Gorbachev was the last president of the Soviet Union before it dissolved in 1991. He was 91 years old. That's your news on this Wednesday.
Waiting was such a mistake. That's one of the things we hear most after we've successfully treated one of our patients for erectile dysfunction. At Montgomery Men's Health, we want you to know first and foremost that waiting is a mistake, because the longer you wait, the more difficult it can be to treat your ED. Using what you've got is important, not just for your relationship, but for your overall health. There's some truth to the phrase, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. At Montgomery Men's Health, we'll fight for your ability to consistently perform without the anxiety that so many men experience. In fact, you might even find you performing like you haven't in a long time. We only treat ED and low T at Montgomery Men's Health, and we've successfully treated many men with protocols that are effective in nearly 90% of cases. We also have a full complement of treatments, including acoustic wave therapy, so you get the one that works best for you. So don't wait. Make an appointment. For just $99, you get a medical consultation, blood work, and a medically advised test goes. Call today, 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663, or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
There's a threat targeting America, one that's growing fast, and still hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org. Brought to you by the Stephen and Alexandra Cohen Foundation and this station.
My job, finances, everything's so crazy.
Sam, I am.
Sam, I can.
Sam is Smart About Money, a free online resource from the nonprofit National Endowment for Financial Education. Get empowered. Reach your financial
That was
goals.
yesterday. Sorry about that.
He is the voice
Missed
of
that
the
one.
conservative millennial.
Ben Shapiro.
The Ben Shapiro Show, tonight at 8 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it. Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem
To the problem solver.
This is Decisions
Oh, yeah.
with Kevin Elkins.
Tomorrow morning, if you wake up and the sun does not appear, I will be here.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It's time to rise and shine, if you can. Well, if you hear my voice this morning, that means you are part of the blessed group. That means that you're on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440. It's time for our daily bread, a word from on high, something to change your perspective. I'll give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. Good morning to you. And it's August the 31st. Our daily bread today is simply titled, When Knowledge Hurts. Our scripture insight today comes from Ecclesiastes 1:12 through 18. But Ecclesiastes 1:18 says, For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. More knowledge, the more grief. Govern yourselves accordingly. And again, it is August the 31st. It is the last day of the month. It is a day unlike any other day, because this day has never been. And it will never, ever come again. And once it's gone, well, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you should have done this day that you don't. And you don't get a chance to come back and undo what you do. So whatever you do this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done on this day, August the 31st, 2022. I say it every morning because each morning is a new day. It's a new time. If you've lived a while, you've seen, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace of God and a lot of mercy thrown in, we may, I'm not sure, we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Well, whatever you do while you can, for as long as you can, reach back and give a helping hand. You only get one day on August 31st, 2022. Benjamin Elijah Mays said that whatever we do in life, we should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say if that is the standard by which you live life, you'll always be successful. But you cannot quit. You can't give up. Because quitters don't win. And winners, oh, they may lose at a thing or two, but they never quit. They never, ever give up. So don't you. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. And no matter what happens this day, remember this. It is still a great day to be alive. When knowledge hurts, that's our daily bread for this day, August the 31st. Good morning, Gene Montgomery. It's time to rise and shine.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. My name is Mike Whitten, and I titled our reading, When Knowledge Hurts. Zach Elder and his friends pulled up to shore after a 25-day rafting trip through the Grand Canyon. The man who came to retrieve their rafts told them about the COVID-19 virus. They thought he was joking, but as they left the canyon, their phones pinged with their parents' urgent messages. Zach and his friends were stunned. They wished they could return to the river and escape what they now knew. In a fallen world, knowledge often brings pain. The wise teacher of Ecclesiastes observed, "With much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief." Who hasn't envied a child's blissful ignorance? She doesn't yet know about racism, violence, and cancer. Weren't we happier before we grew up and discerned our own weaknesses and vices? Before we learned our family secrets? Why our uncle drinks heavily, or what caused our parents' divorce? The pain from knowledge can't be wished away. Once we know, it's no use pretending we don't. But there's a higher knowledge that empowers us to endure, even thrive. Jesus is the Word of God, the light that shines in our darkness. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 says, "He has become for us wisdom from God." That is, our righteousness, holiness, and redemption. Your pain is your reason to run to Jesus. He knows you and cares for you. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verses 12 through 18. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I applied my mind to study and to explore by wisdom all that is done under the heavens. What a heavy burden God has laid on mankind. I've seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. What is crooked cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I said to myself, look, I have increased in wisdom more than anyone who has ruled over Jerusalem before me. I have experienced much of wisdom and knowledge. Then I applied myself to the understanding of wisdom and also of madness and folly. But I learned that this too is a chasing after the wind. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. Let's pray. Jesus, we don't enjoy pain, but if it drives us to you, it's worth it. Help us to turn to you. In your name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
The more wisdom, the more growth.
Court.
Wow.
Hoop. Airborne. Here we go.
Okay, it's time to rise and shine, Montgomery. You got the word? Now it's time to get up with the birds. Say it, General. To the sun.
Sun knows where.
Not yet. Down in the mess hall on my knee. I'm feeling good already.
We got nothing to eat but a can of beans.
Hey, beans better than nothing.
A can of beans.
The bread was moldy and the meat was bad.
Bread was molded and the meat was
Well, you know darn well that you can't eat that.
Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go.
Here we go.
All the way.
All the way.
Gotta be
rough
and tough.
Rough and tough.
Airborne.
Airborne.
Hey.
All the way.
When I was young, I always
Wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, easing the breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight.
All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on.
Hey, somebody got to represent the paratroopers. Might as well be me.
Airborne, all the way driving on.
Soldiers of the sky.
Early one morning.
In the drizzling rain, well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light. Ho!
Born all the way.
Driving on. Good morning, Mike Parente.
All the way, airborne, all the way, driving on.
Down there in Texas way.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All the way.
All the way.
Gotta be.
Rough and tough. All the way. All right, now it's time to do some running. Okay, we got one more day of PT, which is tomorrow. But until then, we got to run like the devil today, okay? So let's do it.
Hard work.
Hard work. Oh, yeah.
Hard work.
Oh. Okay, I got a profile today. Legs kind of hurt.
Hard work.
That's what they say.
Hard work. Earn my pay. Hard work. Hard work.
Get about 2:45 and earn my pay.
Hard work.
Go to work.
Hard work.
That's what they say.
Hard work.
And earn my pay.
Hard work.
And go to work. Come on.
You know, the doors in the morning. Hard work.
Go to work.
Hard work. You pack up the shoes. Hard work. You know them up. Hard work. Manifest.
Hard work.
You gotta
Go to work.
hard work. And here we go.
Hard work. Ready to rock.
Hard work.
That's what they say. Hard work. I earn my pay. Hard work. That's what
You know now.
hard work. And go to work on the airplane in the early morning rain. Hard work. That's what they say. Hard work. Oh yeah. Right. Earn it up. Add up. Woo! Send them on down. Okay.
The mission goes.
Hard work. That's what they say. Hard work. I earn my pay. Woo! Hard work. Okay. I didn't plan to run this morning, but another captain outside the window there checked me out and told me to get off my lazy butt and get to running. So I had to do it. He got his eyes on me. Woo! All right. It's what a way to start a Tuesday morning. Or is it Wednesday morning? Whichever day it is. I'm glad to be here, no matter what the day you call it. Anyway, now let's pay homage to our armed forces of these United States of America, as well as the Montgomery Police Department, the Montgomery Sheriff Department. Good morning to all ALEA agents out there. We used to call it State Patrol. That's what I still call it. I don't care about that name, ALEA. And let me say good morning to Alabama Army National Guard, as well as the Air Force National Guard this morning. Somebody's got to represent us. and being the only guy, that put some time in that uniform on the airways around here, I will never forget the sacrifice of these young men and women who go all over the world, and they say to themselves, not on this night, not on my watch. I'll do the best I can to make sure nothing harms you tonight. Sleep well, my friends, sleep well. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. And good morning to the mayor of the great city of Montgomery. That's right, the Honorable Stephen L. Reed. We disagree politically on something, but I think he's a swell fella. I just got to get him out of that Democrat Party. Wait a minute, hold it. I cannot forget the only people that come to work way before I do beside the police, and that's Montgomery Sanitation Department. Good morning, fellas. Y'all need to, when I blow at y'all in the morning, y'all need to start blowing back. Come on now. Give y'all all this free publicity. Good morning, Maxwell at Gutter Air Force Base. After all, this is an Air Force town. We pay homage to those out there in the Air War College and to all the hundreds of people who come to Montgomery every year to learn from the best. I like to call them Montgomery's Top Gun. It is a great day to be alive and to be an American. Okay, we got issues, but we're going to work them out. And thank God that I'm on top of the ground and the ground's not on top of me. That's enough to be thankful for right there the last few years. So does anybody want part 2 of my Marine Corps story? One more time. Yeah, that's last year I'm going to tell it. I'll get to it on Friday if I'm still here. Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, and the Marines. I want y'all too old to go through basic. I still believe that if I had about a good 8 weeks to get prepared, I believe I could make it through Marine Corps boot camp. What you think? Even at this age, I think I could probably still do it because I wouldn't be drinking those sodas. I wouldn't be eating bad stuff. I think I could, but I need about 8 weeks to get prepared, to go to boot camp. Okay. And can we do boot camp only on the weekends? I mean, I got, not that I got to come to work. So I'm just thinking, I don't know. Maybe I call the Commandant of the Marines, because a black guy now, black 4-star, black general that's black, whatever the case may be. So maybe he'll give me my honorary Marine designation. Now, it hasn't been given to too many people, but they screwed me. They did. They screwed me. I went down there all prepared to join the Corps, wearing that white hat. Lord, them white gloves, them white hat, and they got the best looking hat of all the services. I just, and them blue set and that, and I love that high collar thing. I forgot what they call that collar, but I love that high collar thing. I mean, I love that thing. So I just got to figure out how to do it. I got to figure out how to get it done, But anyway, but even though I want to be a Marine, and I did, there was one thing that I wasn't willing to sacrifice for it, and it's the only thing. If they'd have said you need to jump out the plane on a rope without the chute, I would have did it. If that's what it had took to get it done, I would have done it. But the one thing, and there's only one thing that I would not do, okay, to sacrifice to be a Marine, okay, and that's to be airborne. I would not sacrifice that, okay. But they told a brother he was too short. There I was. That's discrimination. That's discrimination. I mean, I don't know why they discriminate, because now this is 1975, and now I was 18 years old. full of, well, you know what I was full of. Anyway, and so I was ready to take on the world before the police took me to jail. So I went down there real quickly before they found out where I was and signed up. Woo! The things I can tell you that I used to do. I was crazy. I was just at 17 years old, 17 and a half years old, I was kind of nuts, you know. That's what happens when you don't have a daddy around to get you straight. I mean, mama can only do so much because once we figured out we're stronger than she is, it's over. Okay, it's over. Forget all that other stuff you hear about. Forget all that stuff. No. And I realize that some moms do a great job, and they do. Now, if you beat him enough, if you beat the kid enough, you know, before he get to that point, then he'll stay where he is. Unfortunately, though, that's not the case today because we saw. You know, I heard something last night that absolutely stupefied me. Okay. But I tell you what I heard last night, and I did go to the school board meeting last night. I did. Did y'all see me on Channel 12? I didn't know I was on the news. I didn't know that, but I thought I probably said the most important thing in the meeting last night. Most important thing in the meeting last night came from my mouth, and we still have a long way to go before somebody realizes that what I was saying was absolutely true. But anyway, enough of that stuff right now. So let's take a break, and we'll come back at 6:30 in the morning. If you got to be there by if you got to be there by 6:30, okay, you are a minute late right now. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get out there. If you got to go to work, let's go to work. If you need to, get you some coffee, stop and get you some of that. But let's keep going. I don't hear. Oh, and last night at the school board meeting, I have finally figured out. Why there's a disconnect between me and the school system. Okay, between me and the school system. I know now what it is. And so all these times I've been sitting there, I've been sitting there trying to figure out, well, I can't be that stupid. I mean, it's not that difficult. Well, last night, while I was sitting there prognosticating, pontificating, I figured it out. It has taken 31 years, but I have figured out the disconnect. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'll tell you about that when I come back. Oh, yeah. You're going to be surprised. I'm just telling you. Anyway, coming up next, the lessons of life and the things, well, that go along with it. We'll be back.
First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Indeed.com.
And I
Summer's
just
winding down,
can't
but business needs keep ramping up.
believe it.
Check out Indeed, the all-in-one hiring solution that helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Most everyone is entirely dry today. There's just a 10% chance of shower or storm in far southern Alabama. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine after some morning clouds and fog get out of here. Temperatures up into the low 90s. The humidity is high through about lunchtime, and then it actually drops through the afternoon. Lower humidity tonight, mostly clear. Low temperatures, upper 60s to low 70s. That'll feel pretty good. We'll have isolated storms tomorrow, scattered to numerous storms for the holiday weekend.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. So far, so good. Your hump day. Not holding any problems to cause you any alternate route issues. There is some fog in the low-lying areas, so please use caution. Prepare for that. Keep your headlights on low beam. And if you see something out there giving you trouble, safely contact us. We'll pass the info along. A huge shipment of Toyota Camrys and Highlanders is arriving at Reinhardt Toyota. This is the selection you've been waiting for, and they're under pressure. They got to go. Reinhardt Toyota on the East Boulevard. Buckle up. It's the law for Montgomery Skywatch Traffic. This is Major Delay.
Back in 2021, League of Legends Netflix show Arcane made waves with its popularity, and now the show is back in the news for winning 3 Emmy Awards in animation. Anne Law, Julian Georgel, and Bruno Cauchino all won 3 separate Emmys for their art and animation work on the show. These awards increase Arcane's chances of winning the Outstanding Animated Program Award when the Emmys take place on September 12th.
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because our Sleep Number 360 smart bed is really smart. It senses your movement and automatically adjusts to help keep you both comfortable. Plus, it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. It's even smart enough to know exactly how long, how well, and when you slept. Our smart sleepers get 28 minutes more restful sleep per night. Sleep Number takes care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. Don't miss our Labor Day weekend special where all smart beds are on sale. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Labor Day. To learn more, go to
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our healthcare. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining Medishare right now. Medishare is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly healthcare costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too. Now, during this challenging season, with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up, Medishare can save you a lot of money. A typical family pays $500 a month. And Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. Skechers' new massage.
I know about that pedicure thing.
Skechers,
You know, pedicures ain't for guys.
designed unique innovation that makes it
You get a pedicure, you're a man. I got some thoughts about it.
secret is Skechers' new patented weave technology
I
on
do.
the sole that gently
I got some
massages
thoughts
your feet
about
while
it.
you're walking around. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
Waiting was such a mistake. That's one of the things we hear most after we've successfully treated one of our patients for erectile dysfunction. At Montgomery Men's Health, we want you to know first and foremost that waiting is a mistake, because the longer you wait, the more difficult it can be to treat your ED. Using what you've got is important, not just for your relationship, but for your overall health. There's some truth to the phrase, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. At Montgomery Men's Health, we'll fight for your ability to consistently perform without the anxiety that so many men experience. In fact, you might even find you performing like you haven't in a long time. We only treat ED and low T at Montgomery Men's Health, and we've successfully treated many men with protocols that are effective in nearly 90% of cases. We also have the full complement of treatments, including acoustic wave therapy, so you get the one that works best for you. So don't wait. Make an appointment. For just $99, you get a medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. Call today, 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663, or go to Montgomery Men's Health.
Join Sean Hannity Sundays at 3 p.m. for the Encore Show.
Chinese, the Russians don't fear Joe Biden.
On News Radio 1440.
Of life's ups and downs, but fate's been kind. The downs have been few. Oh.
And good morning to you. Okay, I'll tell you what happened at the thing last night, but I'll tell you that next hour. Right now, I got other important things to do. But I finally figured out. It took me 31 years to figure out the deal between why I have such a hard time communicating. Well, I don't have a hard time communicating. I have a hard time getting people to understand where I'm coming from. But that's okay. We'll figure that out later on. Now, listen. I want to give the superintendent an opportunity, like he deserves it. I mean, he deserves an opportunity to get his plan. But I've seen after 31 years living in Montgomery, I've lived here longer than I've lived here 16 years longer than I lived in my own hometown. So yeah, I am a Montgomeryan. Okay, I'm a Montgomeryan. I got my blood, sweat, and tears put into this town. Kids, it's my good stuff, my failures. It's all been right here the last 31 years. Okay, some been good, some been not so good, but I support public school. I don't believe that you should have to pay for a private school to get a basic great education. I just don't. I don't believe. Now, if you want to be snobbish, and I understand snobbish. When you got money, you don't want to hang around poor folks because poor folks got some habits that even I don't like. Okay, I got a couple of them, like spending all my money, like buying 300 pair of tennis shoes. You know, when I'm sitting there broke, I'm buying a $400 car and putting $6,000 worth of stereo in it. And listen, we got some habits. Okay, I understand. So I understand private school. You don't want to hang around us poor people. I got you. I got you. But you ought to be able to get the same quality education in a great environment. But I'll tell you about that later on. Anyway, good morning to you. You know what time it is? It is time for the lessons of life and the word of the day. Okay, I got the word of the day ready for you this morning. Now, my word of the day is probably something that the public school ought to take up. They may need to get the word of the day in class every day. And every day when somebody comes into class in the homeroom, there's a word. And that would extend the vocabulary and the vocal abilities of our youngsters today so they can stop saying, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And if I hear one more guy call a woman bruh, hey, bruh, okay, brother is a male. Okay, it's not a woman. I mean, I've seen so many young guys, hey, bruh, talking to a woman, or female. Really? No wonder they're acting the way they act, because you treat them like that. Okay, I'm just saying, you might want to check that right quick. So what is the word of the day? Well, the word of the day is non sequitur. Okay, non sequitur. Okay, that's sequitur. You know how to spell none, N-O-N. Okay, non sequitur. Okay, it is a statement that either does not logically follow from or is not clearly related to what was previously said. Now, we get a lot of that on talk radio. We get a lot of that. We got a lot of non sequitur things on talk radio because you can be talking about something and somebody just break in, man, you know, we went to the movies last night. Okay, now you sitting here talking about, you know, the movie. I mean, you sitting there talking about what you ate for dinner. And somebody's going to break in and tell me we went to the movies last night. Well, that's a non sequitur. Okay? It's a statement that either does not logically follow from or is not clearly related to what was previously said. So run that by your teacher one day. Yeah, she should know. All right. Now, the lessons of life today, this is a very simple one. And I believe that if people understood this, we would treat ourselves differently. Treat ourselves differently. You know, I'll put it this way. I always ask people all the time, what makes other people better than you? Why do we spend our lives paying homage to other people and their accomplishments? And we do that. We like the Michael Jordan's best basketball player from what I can tell, best basketball player that ever played the game. He just is. Not the tallest, okay, but one of the best there ever was. He's up there with Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and all of, at least for my estimation anyway. John Longshore down the hall, I'll let him chime in on the spec. But we spent a lot of time appreciating the pursuits, appreciating the accomplishments of others, not understanding that why not have somebody else appreciate you? Okay, really, why isn't somebody sitting around talking about you in a positive way? Well, there's only one reason why that is. See, there's a reason why that is. Because sometimes we would rather give others profound compliment than give it to ourselves. Okay, and again, what makes a guy in your classroom smarter than you? Nothing, except he puts in more work. Okay, what makes a guy make E8 in the Army after 10 years? Besides kissing up just a little bit. but He did something that you wasn't willing to do. He did what he had to do. Okay? What makes a guy make sergeant major in a shorter period of time, except in combat times? Yeah. So we look around and we pay homage to all kinds of people, except the guy that looks back at us in the mirror. Stop talking about great people and be one of them. Seriously, stop talking about them. Stop giving all your accolades to other people. Give some of your accolades to yourself. Okay, stop that. Stop making other people great. You're just as great as they are. But you have to put in the work. You got to put in the work. Now I realize that, I'm one of the best talk show hosts in the city of Montgomery. That's cool. But I had to put in the work. That's what you got to do. You can't miss days. You got to be committed to it, and you got to roll with it. Okay? You just got to. Becoming good at something, all that means is that you work very hard to accomplish what you have. But that's not the lesson of life today. That just hit me all of a sudden. Let's stop making other people great and realize that the guy that looks back at you in the mirror, or the woman that looks back at you in the mirror, is just as great at something. Okay, so I'm just saying you might want to take that. So now here is the lesson of life today. You know why when people tell you ever know there's an old philosophy that if you want to get a story wrong, tell 10 people. Tell 10 people. And none of them will regurgitate that story to you the way you told it to them. Okay? No, nobody will. I mean, if you got 20 guys in a line and you start off say, hey, there was a rat in the corner. By the time it gets to the 20th guy, they may not even know what was said. But but they did that experiment. And so what is my point here? History is only kind to you if you write your own. Okay? If you want your story told, tell it yourself. Don't let other people tell your story. Tell your own, either by pen or pencil or by the life that you lead. But tell your own story. Okay, if you want it told, because I don't mind telling you mine. If you want it told, tell it yourself. Don't ever depend on somebody else to tell your story. You tell it, because that's the only way it is going to be favorable to you. Because people have a tendency to pick out all the bad and forget the good. And people who tell their story often remember the bad and they don't remember the good sometimes. So just tell your own story, okay? Don't let somebody else tell your story, okay? That's all I can tell you. Anyway, good morning to you. So that's the lesson of life today. History is only kind to you if you write your own. So if you want your story told, tell it yourself. Don't forget the word of the day, non sequitur. Okay, told you what that meant. It's a statement that either does not logically follow from or is not clearly related to what was previously said. It is August the 31st. It is the 243rd year of, 243rd day of this year. There are 100, believe it or not, and 22 days left in this year. It was on this day in 1986, 86 people were killed when an Aeromexico jetliner and a small private plane collided over someplace in California. The Soviet passenger ship Admiral Nikimu, anyway, close to it, collided with a merchant vessel in the Black Sea, causing both to sink, and up to 448 people were reportedly died. What I can't figure out, now this is really what I can't figure out. How do ships run into each other, especially when they're going that slow? I mean, how does that, unless it was nighttime, you just wouldn't, how does that happen? Don't they got radar on ships and things like nature? How does that happen? I mean, really, how does that? I mean, it's not like they're going down 85, going down the freeway. These people are just I don't know. How do you do that? I mean, anyway, it happened. 1886, an earthquake with an estimated magnitude of 7.3 devastated Charleston, South Carolina, killing at least 60 people, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. In 1888, Mary Ann Nichols, believed to be the first victim of Jack the Ripper, was found slain in London's East End. 1935, that's the year my mom was born, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed an act prohibiting the export of U.S. arms to belligerents. I don't know what a belligerent is, what that definition is today, but okay. Wait, hold, what does that mean? I can't. I mean, I think I know what that means, but let's see what it is. It means okay, a nation or person engaged in war or conflict. Okay. Well, we changed that rule. Else Ukraine be up the creek right now. We didn't do that, so it must have repealed that law. Anyway, the first in 1939, the first of Marvel comics featuring the Human Torch was published by Timely Publications in New York. The year was 1969. Rocky Marciano died in a light plane crash in Iowa a day before his 46th birthday. 1972, the Munich Summer Olympics, American swimmer Mark Spitz won his 4th and 5th gold medals in the 100-meter butterfly and the 800-meter freestyle relay. Soviet gymnast, I remember her, Olga Korbut, won gold medals in floor exercise and the balance beam. The year was 1980. Poland's Solidarity labor movement was born with an agreement signed in Gdansk that ended the 17-day-old strike. The year was 1989. Britain's Princess Anne and her husband, Captain Mark Phillips, announced they were separating after 15 years of marriage. 1992, white supremacists, we always call all white folks that who believe in certain things. We call them white supremacists. In 1992, white separatist Randy Weaver surrendered to authorities in Naples, Idaho, ending an 11-day siege by federal agents that had claimed the lives of Weaver's wife, his son, and a deputy U.S. Marshal. Weaver was acquitted of murder and all the charges in connection with the confrontation. I bet he was. He was convicted of failing to appear for trial on firearms charges and was sentenced to 18 months in prison, but given credit for 14 months he had already served. Okay then. All right then. So just in case you forget, this is where the FBI went in there and did all kind of crap to those folks down there. I don't have a problem with people wanting to be separatists. Right on. If you want to get up there in the mountains and hang out and just don't do like Jim Jones did, give people poison and let them think they're getting on the Star Trek Enterprise. Other than that, I'm good. If you want to stay with, I tell you, there's something to be said about solitude. There's something to be said about that. But we give them all kind of names, separatists and all that stuff. What's wrong with being separate? Well, I don't have a problem with that. You be you, I be me. I got no problem with that. Just going up there and have yourself a good time in the woods. Anyway, in 1994, the Irish Republican Army, or the IRA, declared ceasefire. Russia officially ended its military presence in the former East German and Baltics after half a century. 1997, Prince Charles brought Princess Diana home for the last time, escorting the body of his former wife to Britain that was shocked, grief-stricken, and angered by her death in a Paris traffic accident earlier that day. In 2017, rescuers began a block-by-block search of tens of thousands of Houston homes, looking for anyone who might have been left behind in the floodwaters from Hurricane Harvey. The scope of the fake account scandal at Wells Fargo expanded, and with the bank now saying 3.5 million accounts may have been opened without customers' permission. And they're still in business, as a matter of fact. I guess that's all right, I guess. I don't know. All right, 13 years ago, extremely dangerous and strengthening Hurricane Jemina, whatever the hell it is, roared toward Mexico's resort Baja in California Peninsula. Walt Disney Company announced it was acquiring comic book giant Marvel Entertainment for $4 billion. That's with a B, baby. B. Okay. 8 years ago, on the Sunday talk show, leaders of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees prodded Barack Obama to take decisive action against what they said was a growing threat from the Islamic State militants on U.S. soil. Yeah, we call them Democrats now. Woo! We call them Democrats now. Anyway, at a memorial in U.S. Capitol Rotunda, congressional leaders saluted the late Arizona Republican Senator John McCain as a model of service in war and peace, and one of the bravest souls our nation has ever produced. Aretha Franklin, you better think, what you trying to do to me? Okay, leave that alone. Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, was laid to rest after an 8-hour funeral. That's a long time. In a Detroit church, where guests included Bill and Hillary Clinton. That was on like a job that day. The Reverend Jesse Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, Serena Williams scored her most lopsided victory ever against her sister Venus, winning a third round match in the U.S. Open 6-1, 6-2. Education Secretary Betty DeVos said she had no intention of taking any action regarding any possible use of federal money to arm teachers or provide them with firearms training. All right, then. That's good. And those are just some of the things. 8-hour funeral. I hate staying at work that long, let alone at a funeral. Man. Whew. But everybody had something to say there. Everybody had something to say at that funeral. You know, everybody. Then there's one preacher. Now they got mad at this one preacher up there because he got to talking about how our communities have diminished. They have become places of ill repute and the violence that goes on in them. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, that's what it was. But I remember that. As a matter of fact, Aretha Franklin's estate just now paid off the IRS. Hey, she did a good job keeping some of that money. I ain't mad at it. No sense getting it to the government. See, and the Democrats probably would think she had too much money, right? Republicans say, hey, it's your money, and you do what you want to do with it. I'm good. Yeah, I had no problem with Aretha on that one. Not at all. I better keep her money. All right, then. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting here talking about student loans. Everybody talking about student loans, paying back the student loans. Well, I don't care if you ever pay back your student loans. I think personally, I don't care if you never pay them back. Okay, and to tell you the honest God truth, I don't care about the $10,000. I think it's kind of wrong for those who paid theirs and then you get a break. But again, by the time you get them paying off a 20-year loan, you're gonna pay a hell of a lot more than $10,000 in interest anyway. Okay, so I don't, what's 5% interest on those things? I don't care. But when we come back, there is something going on in America that we all gonna need some help with. Forget a student loan. I'm gonna have to ask the president. I'm gonna draft a. No, tell what I'm doing. I'm just gonna call the White House and ask to speak to the president sometime in the next 2 hours and see if we can get some help with this particular issue here. We got something that is coming upon us right now that is going to put a lot of us in a bad way. And I'm just telling you, and these idiots out here who were talking about we want to get rid of fossil fuel. Yeah, okay. Well, I hope you got extra room in your house because I'm coming to stay with you. Okay, I'm just telling you. Okay. So when we come back, though, we'll tell you about how that's going to work. So you guys be cool. All right, I'll be back in uno momento. Okay. All right. I'm just saying. Oh. Okay. So anyway, so don't y'all go nowhere. I don't know where that came from. Okay, but we'll be right back. All right. Now, let's go.
I've seen life from both sides.
Now, your WSFA 12 news update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Wednesday. President Joe Biden spoke in Pennsylvania last night where he called on Congress to revive a long-expired federal ban on assault-style weapons. The president laid out the framework of his Safe for America plan. Also asking Congress to give more than $2 billion.
Just can't help believing the fire so and
the water is causing a different problem in Kansas City.
in your
And
eyes.
water problem. Right now, the city's water system can't produce enough safe water for the residents. With 150,000 people in Jackson looking for drinkable water, the city's main water treatment plant failed. It remains under a state of emergency. And a main predator peacefully bringing an end to the Cold War has died. Tuesday afternoon, Russian media reported the death of former USSR President Mikhail Gorbachev. Gorbachev was the last president of the Soviet Union before it dissolved in 1991. He was 91 years old. That's your news on this Wednesday.
News Radio 1440 WLWI AM, the home of Sean Hannity, also on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, Alabama.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The Justice Department is alleging former President Trump and his team played a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek with federal officials trying to track down classified documents. Correspondent Robert Costa has details on breaking developments.
The explosive legal document revealed for the first time ever photo evidence of the highly classified documents it seized from Trump's Florida home. The government developed evidence that government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room.
The Justice Department says Mr. Trump's request for a special master to be warranted because the review has already taken place. The water crisis is deepening in Jackson, Mississippi. More than 150,000 people still have no clean water to take showers, brush teeth, or drink from the tap. Correspondent Jim Krasula is in Jackson.
Flooding made things worse with the city's long-troubled water treatment plants. People are frustrated and worried.
I am concerned, very concerned with my health as well as my children, my grandchildren, or whatever, you know.
City and state officials are working to get as much bottled water to as many people as soon as possible.
A convoy of 19 cars, many marked UN on the side, has arrived in the southern Ukraine, Zaporizhia. They're carrying teams to inspect a Russian-held nuclear plant knocked offline during shelling last week. The IAEA's Rafael Grossi.
Very, very important task.
There are fears damage to the plant triggered a radiation leak. World leaders paying tribute to late Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
Gorbachev is one of those people who changed the world and unquestionably changed it for the better.
This is the 25th anniversary of Princess Diana's death in a car accident in Paris. Correspondent Vicki Barker looks back.
We heard a huge explosion.
This American tourist was there.
A screech and then it sounded like an explosion.
Princess Diana was in the back.
This French ambulance man tried to save her. Back home in Britain, best friend Rosa Monkton heard there'd been an accident.
I was just sitting in a heap, waiting to hear the latest bit of news.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of Diana, Princess of Wales.
A shocked and traumatized nation woke up to word that the people's princess was dead.
Diana was 36. A toxic red tide is asphyxiating fish in the San Francisco Bay Area. Environmental biologist Sarah Moss.
I've never seen anything like this. It's insane how many dead fish there are. All sizes too. I saw 3 dead stingrays.
Hot weather is exacerbating the algae bloom. This is CBS News.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance yours, Rocket Mortgage can help you get there. For home loan solutions that fit your life, Rocket can.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender.
Alrighty then.
401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681.
California farmers are bracing for an excessive heat watch this week.
Temperatures could reach as high as 110 degrees over the next few days, dangerous for people and especially crops.
We could have a crop wipeout
and potentially lose an entire crop.
So farmers prep their fields
We want to make sure our irrigation systems are in working order.
and their workers.
We do what we can, to protect them first and try and make their jobs a little bit easier.
Many will provide more water and put up tents for more shade to stay as cool as possible. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
Officials in Ecuador suspect poachers are behind the deaths of 4 giant tortoises in the Galapagos. Park rangers found 15 gutted carcasses back in September. In March, 185 critically injured tortoise hatchlings were discovered inside a suitcase at the airport. Their meat is considered a delicacy. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com.
He's smart, witty, and fast on the draw. It's Mark Levin this afternoon at 5 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
Man, what's that all about?
You should see the horse she left here in my heart. So now I stand here staring at the Rockies. I heard they reach right up to heaven.
And good morning, everybody. I love me some BJ Thomas. I mean, I don't know many singers that can touch it. That can touch your soul that way. That man can sing. Okay, so him and Luther Vandross can sing better than I. Okay, but not too many people can. Okay, I'm just saying. Good morning. Oh man, love this guy. So, how's everybody doing? Okay, I'm doing pretty good. Nobody asked me, but I'm telling you anyway. So yesterday the new superintendent had, and I'm glad he did it because that was nice of him to put himself out there and to I guess try to let us know about his 100-day plan. That was good. That's good. Or wish list, whatever. Now, most of the time when I go places, I try to get on TV just for the hell of it, just so I can, see my lovely face. But yesterday was not one of those times. Yesterday, I had a see, that's what the good Lord let you know. Stop trying to do it. It'll happen. So yesterday I did go to the school meeting. I did go to the thing last night. And for the most part, it was just like all the rest of them. I mean, honestly, it was just like all the rest of them. But again, I am glad that he came out there. At least he got to hear from me anyway. But he kind of like took the mic from me because I had so many complaints until he was tired of hearing them. And I realized he's only here. He just got okay, and so, but here's my issue. And we ran into Clear Wheel last night. Here's my issue. I didn't go there last night to find out specifically what was on his mind, what he was going to do to tear his plan apart, because he doesn't know yet. He has a framework. And that's all that 100-day plan is about. It's about a framework, okay? But here's what he should have had together by the time when he put in for the job of superintendent of Montgomery Schools. He should have already had a educational philosophy that was cemented in stone. cemented in stone. Okay, and what is a philosophy? Philosophy is merely the things you believe in and what makes up those beliefs. And we all have one. Even if we don't exactly know how to articulate it, every last one of us has a philosophy. Okay, you may hell till right now you probably don't know what the hell the word meant. That's okay. You still have one. These are the things that guide you through life, through your job, through living, through your experiences. That's what your philosophy is. So no matter, I don't care if you've been on the job one day, you still have a philosophy by which you are to govern by. So last night, I went there to see exactly what that philosophy was. What is it that you believe in? Okay, when it comes to education. And so I had to ask him, you know, I got you a little late, but the question, I knew the question wasn't going to be asked because it is a question for some reason. For some reason, Black folks in education will not ask the question, even though they know it's an issue. We won't ask the question. So last night I asked, well, why won't somebody ask this question? Now, I didn't ask this of the superintendent. I did this in private conversation with other people. And I'm going to tell you what the answer was from some people, not all people. I asked the question, why is it that in public school, not only in Montgomery, but every last superintendent that has been in that job, okay, over the last 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 years, has not publicly stated this? None of them want to deal with this word. It's like it is a word that has been removed from the lexicon of our language. Okay? Now, we can talk about LGBT. We can talk about white supremacists. We can talk about CRT, critical race theory. I mean, we can talk about a plethora of issues as it pertains to our schools. But the one word that we can't seem to get a public comment on, the one word, you won't see it mentioned in even last week at 2 weeks ago when it was when the shooting happened at the outside Crampton Bowl, which has got nothing to do with the teachers in the school, but it was just at a school event. Okay. But we cannot ask this one word. It is a word. You know, you remember Moses? You remember you remember Moses, the movie The Ten Commandments? When the Pharaoh, when Moses, rather than kill Moses, he decided to banish him to the desert. And he said that, well, if you survive or not survive at the leisure of your God. Okay? But what he said was, we're going to strike his name off every pylon, of every scribe, of every scroll, of everything. Well, that's what we've done with this word. We have taken this word, okay, and just nobody mentions it that's part of the system. Okay, and you guys know what the word is. Everybody knows what the word is. And so I had to ask them, why can't the word be mentioned? And you'll be surprised at some of the answers that I got, not from the superintendent, but from regular folks. And the word is, and somebody said, don't say, discipline. Yeah, that's the word that you don't hear anymore in our schools. And so what came down to me was, well, the reasons why we don't like talking about that word is because back in 1962, and 63 and 54 and 43 and all, back in those days in the 60s and 70s, it is part of our DNA to be undisciplined because we got tired of white folks telling us what to do, and we just had to do it. I said, really? So now it's in your DNA to be undisciplined? Now, again, I don't know who the hell came up with that theory, but it was a theory that was put forth to me last night. Now, everybody that's a human being that has accomplished anything in the world, anything, the only place in our public school system where discipline seems to be at least part of the education philosophy is in football and basketball, okay, and baseball. So we can have discipline in the sports arena, but we can't have it in the classroom. Now, and I'm never going to give up on this. They can drag me out of here, and the last word I'll say is we need discipline. So why is it teachers, administrators, why is it that we don't want to use that word? That is the biggest. So I go up to Jeff Davis last night, and I talked to some kids who go to the school. And do you know what they said was? They told me discipline. Now, these are kids who go to the school. So I don't understand why it is that we cannot get rid of bad problems. So, okay, so and then they tell me this, well, if we put them out of school, they're going to end up on the street. I don't care because we got a place for them. It's called jail, reform school. I don't care. I don't care about putting them out because why in the world? So I took this one person. I said, listen, let's say, and here's part of the problem. I said, you got 2 glasses of water right here, 2 glasses. One glass has strychnine in it, and the other one's clean, clear drinking water. But they're in the same kind of glass. You don't know which is which. Which one do you drink? Now, this individual told me, well, I may take a chance and just grab one. Okay. Now, that's not logical to drink out of a glass that may or may not have strychnine poison in it. But this individual says, I am going to take a chance, just grab one. Well, I'm not going to drink out of either or. I'm not going to do that. It's not reasonable to expect me to drink out of a glass, one with strychnine in it, and I don't know which one it is. So I'm not going to drink either one. So I figured out what the problem was. I have figured out after all these years, what is the problem in public school? Okay, I figured it out. And I'm going to share that with you guys in a couple minutes. Good morning. Yes. I didn't say the state. Nope. You said they own the biscuits, and they don't. No, that's not what you said. I got the tape. You did not say that. You said the biscuits. Yeah, okay, but I ain't on that right now. I don't care about that. Yeah. Okay, because I don't hear about the biscuits yet. What? Okay, but that's not what I know, but that's not what I'm on right now. I know. No. Listen, I know. Okay, well I'm not. We can talk about that some other time. This is more important than that. Well, let's get to that one quick. Yeah. And if they don't, okay, and I hear what you're saying. And listen, everybody knows that the first teacher of, I'm not, right. Everybody knows that the first teacher of any child is their parent. But let's just face it. Let's just face it. There are some parents today who are not good parents. And that's not my problem. That's not my, no. Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm gonna let you finish. Let me finish. Even if you got even if you got the worst parents in town, that does not mean that you can come to school and disrupt the learning process for everybody else. You send that little tyrant home to his parents or to the DHR, whatever you got to do, but that doesn't mean that just because your parents suck, that you get to disrupt the learning process of everybody else. Not in Montgomery, Alabama, she isn't. Because you're not telling the truth. The governor's got nothing to do with what goes on in Montgomery public schools. But when you're making a bad point, don't bring the governor up. The governor doesn't run our school system. Our Board of Education does. We'll just start the right premise. But don't bring up the governor, though. She's got nothing to do with it. The Republicans got nothing to do with the. I know, but don't forget the political parties, because you're starting off with the wrong premise. Yeah. You got a minute. You got uninterrupted 1 minute. Go. What? Okay. Nothing happening. Say no way. Good morning. Who's this? This is he. Good morning. That's right. That's right. Yeah, you get wood. What's good? Mm-hmm. Right. And they ain't giving that away free. You still got to pay it back. So, yeah. Yeah. No. Some people don't deserve college. Appreciate it. Because, and again, I figured out what the problem is. I have figured out what the problem is. Where the disconnect from civilian leadership is Okay, I figured it out. Took me a long time, 31 years to figure it out, but I didn't figure it out. Now the question is, what's the solution for it? But I'll tell you the problem when we come back.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Publix Supermarket. Start saving on all the grocery items you love at Publix. From weekly sales and digital coupons to buy one get one promotions, you can always find more.
Hey, won't you play another somebody done somebody wrong song? Make me feel at home. Well, I miss my baby. Well, I miss my baby.
We'll have isolated storms tomorrow, scattered numerous storms for the holiday weekend. That's your first weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. We've got an accident on 85 south down at Perryville Road. This does involve injuries, so please use caution. You want to avoid this area. Expect some backup 85 south at Perryville. Accident with injury. Aside of that, we're looking good. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. It's back to school time at Premier Place. Shop Bath and Body Works, covered by us. Hourglass Optical, Shoe Carnival, Payroll, Base and Phone Repair, and more. Premier Place and Crackle, another great McClinton and Company development. Buckle up, it's the law. From Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
The news you need, the news you can trust, the news you depend on. News Radio 1440. More at newsradio1440.com.
Attention River Region. Don't wait on one of those internet companies that hopefully call you back. You'll be disappointed even if they do.
Hey, won't you play another somebody done somebody wrong song? You make me feel at home. Well, I miss my baby. Well, I miss my baby. Sing a song for me. Sad melody, so sad, it makes everybody cry. Well, cause I don't wanna say, hey, goodbye. Hey, won't you play? Well, somebody done somebody wrong song. Make me feel at home.
We also have full complement of treatments, including acoustic wave therapy, so you get the one that works best for you. So don't wait. Make an appointment. For just $99, you get a medical consultation, blood work, and a medically advised test. Call today, 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663, or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navaj. Navaj will saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, glue, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navaj for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navaj users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navaj. That's because Navaj helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navaj is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthy. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navaj, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Chandra with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. As a parent, you are your child's first teacher. Like all students, kids will make mistakes. Your goal is to encourage the behavior you want to see. Set clear expectations, reward good behavior, and withdraw privileges when needed. What doesn't work is spanking. It only increases the risk your child will be aggressive. For more strategies on child behavior, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
Don't miss Sean Hannity. Biden incoherently appears live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
And we are back. Now I'm willing to take anybody who disagrees with me this morning. I will take it. I'm gonna tell you what the problem is here. I figured it out. It took me a long time, 31 years to figure it out, but I have figured it out. So I got the problem. And if I hear one more time, listen. If I hear one more time, well, the kids come from the community and they bring their problems into school. Well, with all you educated people there, because you're always reminding us of how many PhDs you have in education, then you would think that with all you folks in there, you would know how to deal with that. I'm so sick of tired of hearing that excuse. Just because somebody comes to school from a community, Valiant Cross, they have kids who come from the communities. Okay, but they know the minute they get through that door, there are things that are expected of them, and they better toe the line. So I'm sick of that sorry ass excuse that kids are from the community. People who go to Montgomery Academy are from the community. People who go to Hopper Academy, they're from the community. People that go to Montgomery Christian are from the community. Tired of hearing that crap. Okay, your job is to make them better. Okay, and if they daddies are drunk, their mamas are whatever, sorry about that. But sorry about that. But that's just the way it goes. Yeah, you have to take what you get and fix it, at least the best you can. And if it can't be fixed, then do what I do with an old computer. You know what I do? I tell them, here, take the computer. You don't owe me nothing. Keep them at home. Okay? So this whining about they come from the community, that's just a bunch of crap. They do this because you allow it to happen. Good morning. Who's this? Yes, Steve. Listen, that's somebody told me that night. That's somebody told me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Me too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. They do have discipline. Mm-hmm. They really are. but again, even if you listen, all parents are not great parents. I ain't the best parent. All parents, but when you show up at that school, the word local parentis is in effect. That means that the teachers and administrators of that school are in lieu of the parents. They still must expect the best out of these kids, regardless of what environment they come. See, we can do something about it. If they come to school hungry, we can give them some food. You know, if they come to school with dirty clothes on, we can give them a nice clean pair of pants and a nice shirt, you know, and all kinds of things. But it seems when it comes to discipline, we don't think that we have a right to expect them to act a certain way. And if they don't know that way, then it's our job to teach them. Just our job to teach them, you know. All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, who won't agree? Yeah, who won't? You know what? Let me put it this way. If Alabamians would expect the same excellence as we do ASU or the University of Alabama or Auburn University at their football teams, our school system would be second to none. Second to none. Okay, but for some reason, you know, there's a game going on inside that classroom, and the best will move forward and the others will drop to the bottom. But you will never get the best out of our kids until you start expecting it. Stop making excuses. So I figured out what's wrong. Here's what I figured out. And maybe I went in the military too young. And so that's the way I was raised after I left my mama's house. That's what I was raised. In the military, if they give you a job, if they said, Sergeant Elkins, we are going to be deployed. We need you to get the beans at this coordinate by 9 o'clock. Okay, you need to get the eggs and the beans, whatever, at this coordinate, because I've been there, done that. You got to be here. They don't want to hear excuses about the weather. We don't want to hear excuses about how tough it is. They don't want to hear excuses about you ran out of something. All they know is they gave you a job to do. And your job is to get the mission accomplished. So, civilians, especially in the education business, we are so used to making excuses. Well, they come from the society. They come from the community. Well, you know, it's a different time. No, we're just different. Okay? We make so many excuses for why we're not getting the mission accomplished. And every new superintendent we get, we pay them more and they give me more excuses. Okay? I want you to take my child and make him the best he can be, not make excuses for why you haven't done it. Okay? And that's everybody's kid. Everybody's kid will be much better off if we started expecting the same thing from the classroom as we do from the football coach. Okay? And give the teachers the authority to run their class. And if we find out there's a teacher that's not worthy of that confidence, get rid of them. But I've been through buku superintendents. There's a groove in the highway, 85 and 65, going north and south and east and west, with the dent in the pavement for the money that people taking out of this county on the way to another job. I want somebody to take the bull by the horns, okay, stop this chaos in the classroom. And if you have principals that can't do it, get rid of them. You shouldn't have to put your child in a private school to get a decent education. It is the environment, okay, that must be conducive to education learning. I'm tired. If I hear one more teacher, I'm going to jail. Tell where they come from the community. Okay, so did I. So did you. We all came from the community. Okay? Stop it. Stop making excuses. And I certainly don't need the new superintendent making an excuse. Hell, he just got here. His objective should be excellence. Excellence. Excellent. That should be the objective. Not making excuses why we didn't get the job done, but finding a way to get it done. If Nick Saban just got a $10 million extension a year on his contract, Nick Saban has produced nothing but winners. Well, the classroom is like a football field. Everybody has got a job. The coach of our kids in that classroom is the teacher. If they fail, that's because you had failed them. Okay, excellent. Again, if we start expecting the same thing from the classroom coaches as we do the football coaches, hell, people will be moving to Alabama to go to school here and not paying for a private school. There's always going to be snobs who want private schools. Let them have them. But 1 and 1 equals 2, regardless of which classroom, regardless of whether you go to private school or public school, it's the same answer. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay, sometimes it equals 3. It depends on what you're doing. 860-1440. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Good morning. Well, you know, when you got somebody that's personally involved in it, it's a difficult thing to see. All right. Well, she's on the board. She's president of the board, but not directly with Montgomery. But it's true. She's not. All righty then. I appreciate it. I still say bull hockey on Kay Ivey does not get on the phone and call Capitol Heights or call Lee every morning and say, do this. They set the framework. The people in these schools are responsible for on-site behavior and the acceptance of that behavior. But I agree with you. Every governor sits on the State Board of Education by position. But they don't call the schools every day and say, do this and do that. I'm sorry. Bull hockey. That's on the superintendent. That's on the Board of Education in County Montgomery. And that's on the principals at these schools. We'll be back.
Because I'm free.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Publix Supermarket. At Publix, they want to help you get the items you love for less, which is why they have all kinds of ways to save. Shop smart with digital coupons, weekly sales, and buy one get one deals. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Most everyone is entirely dry today. There's just a 10% chance of a shower or storm in parts southern Alabama. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine after some morning clouds and fog get out of here. Temperatures up into the low 90s. The humidity is high through about lunchtime, and then it actually drops through the afternoon. Lower humidity tonight, mostly clear. Low temperatures, upper 60s to low 70s. That'll feel pretty good. We'll have isolated storms tomorrow, scattered numerous storms for the holiday week.
And the blues won't come to me. Oh, to feed me.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery, 85 southbound, just before Erie Hill, we've got a single vehicle accident.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
85 southbound, almost 12 road. They even have a second accident on the back end of this. People not paying attention. Watch out, 85 southbound, not the place to be. And be advised, your alternate route is going to be swamped with a lot of people as well. There's over 30 homes to choose from at Jayco Homes, with 4 arriving each week. Buy from Butler or La Hope. They're at Jayco Homes on the Kentucky Highway and their new location in Allen City. Buckle up, front, back, and pull off. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic. This is Major Delay.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is calling all creative minds. The department exists to engage, enlighten, and elevate a diverse, inclusive cultural arts community. They're committed to strengthening and showcasing organizational and individual cultural endeavors in our hometown. To advance this cause, they're seeking individual artists, artisans, advocacy groups, schools, and avid patrons of the arts. If this is you, visit montgomeryal.gov and click on the Cultural Affairs page to register to be part of Montgomery's creative community. Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining Medishare right now. Medishare is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly health care costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too. Now, during this challenging season, with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up, Medishare can save you a lot of money as a total family. Saves $500 a month. And Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now would be perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about homes, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Adjuncts.
Sam, put your shoes on. We're headed to the doctor in 10 minutes.
Okay, Mom. Hey, am I gonna have to get a shot?
Yes, it's time for your yearly vaccines. We have to make sure all your vaccines are up to date before you start back to school. I have to provide a record to the school. Alabama law requires children of all ages to be up to date on their immunizations before attending school. Every child needs to be vaccinated against polio, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, also known as whooping cough, measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Chandra with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. As a parent, you are your child's first teacher. Like all students, kids will make mistakes. Your goal is to encourage the behavior you want to see, set clear expectations, reward good behavior, and withdraw privileges when needed.
And now,
What doesn't
don't come to greet me, won't defeat me.
talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
I'm telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
Okay, before we get back to our caller, let me tell you a little about our sponsor of this hour of our show, which is JL Lane Truck and Auto. JL Lane Truck and Auto. Or go to jllanetruckandauto.com. Or you give a call, 272-4313. You're looking for a car, a pre-loved car, a car that you can be guaranteed that will fit your needs, or else they won't sell it to you. Okay? You can send your mother over there all by herself. They are such great people over there that if I trust with my mom to go over there, I would trust with your mom to go over there too. Okay? You can tell a lot about a car company by sending your mom whether or not they do it right. And these folks are great people. Okay? They got online inventory. You can buy there. You can pay there. You don't have to have the world's greatest credit because they decide whether or not you get the car right there. Cars have been cleaned, cleared of all known issues. They pass a rigorous and vigorous inspection process. So if you're ready to ride, go to 208 Gun Road and or give them a call, 272-4313, 272-4313. And if they don't have it, ask for Steve, they can get it. Again, pay there, buy there, pay there, and no hassle. So go by and see them, okay? That's that number again one more time, 272-4313. Don't forget the website. Don't forget the website, jllanetruckandauto.com. Okay? Let's go back to the phone right quick. Let me get that right there. Okay, so where am I supposed to be at here? Oh, there we go, right there in the middle. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning. No, not this year. I haven't. Did it change from last year? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and again, the kids only do what they're allowed to do. Mm-hmm. But hey, listen, he's responsible for what happens in him. Well, for $255,000 a year, brother, yeah, you need. Well, we gonna come for you. Right. Oh, absolutely. Oh, and I brought that up. I brought that up to the last superintendent. You know, and it's like, well, I don't want to send anybody home. What the hell you mean you don't want to send anybody home? Well, the principals say they are doing what they're directed to do from well, and that's what they tell me, from the head shed. The head shed, what they do, but they tell me where these kids come from the community. Well, I don't care. So did I. Right. Right. Well, brother, I I think you are probably right, and I maybe I'll start doing that. I'll just call them out because I don't hear no more excuses about this. 15 superintendents, over $1 million paid to people, and we still can't just get a decent environment the kids can learn in. I don't get it. Right. Okay. Hey, appreciate it. Let me see. Good morning. Who's this? Didn't you hang up a little while ago? Didn't you hang up? She ain't got anything to do with school. She don't have anything to do with running Montgomery schools. 1 minute, go. Go. Okay, and again, that's a policy issue. Well, because I've been told, well, then we can't paddle. Although the state of Alabama says you can perform corporal punishment on if you're the guardian or the parent of that child. So they make a lot of excuses here. Good morning. Mm-hmm. No, exactly. But listen, I that really doesn't bother me. Leadership, but it doesn't. And that may be true too, but the philosophy and the SOPs can still manage those things. See, it now with all the people that got up there working, and there may be truth to that too. Right. But I don't, let me ask you, what's wrong with nepotism? As long as they can do the job, what's the problem with that? It's a small city. And then that's the question we should ask, not who they're related to. Can they, if they can't do the job, then that's one thing. Of everything. Oh, gotta go, man. We gotta go. Bye, 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 bye. Sorry about that. We're gone. We'll be back.
President Joe Biden spoke in Pennsylvania last night where he called on Congress to revive a long-expired federal ban on assault-style weapons. The president laid out the framework for the Safer America plan. He's also asking Congress to give more than $10 billion in funding to local police departments in the next 5 years. First it was flooding, and now the water is causing a different problem in Jackson, Mississippi. It once again has a water problem. Right now, the city's water system can't produce enough safe water for the residents. More than 150,000 people in Jackson are looking for drinkable water. The city's main water treatment plant failed. It remains under a state of emergency. And a man credited with being an enemy of the Cold War who died. Tuesday afternoon, Russian media reported the death of former USSR President Mikhail Gorbachev. Gorbachev was the last president of the Soviet Union before it dissolved in 1991. He was 91 years old. That's your news on this Wednesday.
WLWI-AM is News Radio 1440. Also heard on 95.1 HD3 FM in Montgomery. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The Justice Department is making new accusations about classified documents moved from the White House to former President Trump's estate in Palm Beach. Correspondent Bradley Blackburn.
The DOJ found evidence that papers were likely concealed and removed. And while it didn't say who was responsible, the DOJ said, quote, efforts were likely taken to obstruct the government's investigation.
Former federal prosecutor Harry Litman.
Far from being cooperative, Trump tried at every trick in the book to keep these documents from going back to where they belong, that is, the National Archives.
The water crisis in Jackson, Mississippi is becoming more acute, with even bottled water running out now. Andy Nessenson manages a restaurant there.
You want to throw your hands up and give up, but you can't, because you've got 90 employees that depend on you to make sure that they've got money in their accounts so they can feed their families.
Homes and businesses have little to no running water, and what they do have isn't safe to drink or bathe with. There is no timeline for fixing a damaged treatment facility. Almost 120 schools will close early in Philadelphia for the second day in a row because half don't have adequate air conditioning. Reporter Mike DiNardo with our affiliate KYW.
Cassidy DiMarcello picked up her kids at the early dismissal time at Fannie Jackson Coppin Elementary School.
All the kids came out and they were like glistening.
This parent describes the conditions inside the 98-year-old building.
Very high, over 90 degrees in at least my third graders classroom.
UN inspectors arrived in Russian-occupied Zaporizhia today to check for signs of a radiation leak after Ukraine's nuclear power plant was knocked offline during shelling. Correspondent Deborah Pata is in Kyiv.
The team will spend a few days at the site in an attempt to stabilize the situation. The nuclear inspectors met with Ukrainian government officials yesterday, including Energy Minister Herman Galushenko, who told CBS News they made it clear the Russian occupation of the plant has to end.
Ford recalling hundreds of thousands of pickups. Jeff Gilbert with our affiliate WWJ.
The 2017 through 20 F-250s, 350s, and 450s, along with the Lincoln Continental, have rear-view camera lenses that can degrade, leading to a cloudy image. Ford has more than 8,800 warranty claims. Dealers will replace the camera at no cost to owners.
Times getting tougher at a struggling home goods chain.
The 20s.
Everything you need to home. Bed Bath & Beyond will close 150 more stores and cut about 20% of its corporate and supply chain staff. S&P futures up 18. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
It's worse than the FBI raid. Big Tech and the Deep State want to stop Donald Trump. Now, Dick Morris reveals their dark plan in his new book, The Return. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, The Return reveals the real threat facing Trump. But Dick Morris says Trump will still win. At bookstores, get The Return or see the free offer and save $28. Call 800-NEWSMAX, 800-NEWSMAX, or go to thereturn911.com. Thereturn911.com.
And paid for by USA Veteran Law Group. Attention Marines, if you or a loved one lived or worked at Camp Lejeune for more than 30 days between 1953 and 1988, you are exposed to drinking water contaminated with benzene and other highly carcinogenic chemicals, causing those exposed to develop devastating health conditions. You may qualify for significant compensation if you have been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, bladder, kidney, or liver cancer, or other serious health conditions. Get justice at 866-463-0001 or visit usaveteranlawgroup.com.
An update on an injured little leaguer who suffered a serious injury off the field.
12-year-old Easton Oliverson was seriously injured 2 weeks ago when he fell from a bunk bed in a dorm at the Little League World Series. Easton suffered a skull fracture and needed life-saving surgery. He's now posted a message online.
Please keep praying for me as I continue to get better. I know that prayers and blessings have worked.
Easton, who is nicknamed Tank, is now recovering at his Utah home. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Forget about jobs on Wall Street. A survey by Urban Sitter finds more college grads, including Ivy Leaguers, are becoming modern-day Mary Poppins's. Salaries have soared for babysitters. They jumped from $20 to $25 an hour a year ago to as high as $45. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text local to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you, it finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for.
You always know somebody in radio.
Needle in a haystack.
Correct employers who post their job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
And good morning, everybody. Good morning, and good morning again. Sorry about that. We went a little long on that last one, so I had to cut my brother off there for a second. First of all, let me tell you about our sponsor of this hour of the show, which is JL Lane Truck and Auto. JL Lane Truck and Auto. Now, if you want to see their inventory this morning, you can go right to their website page, jllanetruckandauto.com. And what you'll find is some Jeep Parakeet Latitudes. You'll find a Dodge Ram 1500 SX, ST, I mean. Also, you'll find a Ford Focus, a really nice looking car. You'll find a Ford F-150 King Ranch. You'll find a Ford F-150 XL, that's X-Ray Lima. You'll find a Lincoln Town Car. That's my next deal. I'm going to sell this Lincoln Town Car. You want to be Uber? You want to make sure you want to Uber around town a little bit here? Hey, put them in a Lincoln, because most of us never get in a Lincoln unless we're going on the funeral. So I'm just saying you might want to go there and get that car, and it's not very much either. As a matter of fact, some of you got this much in the bank on a Friday. And how about a 4Runner SR5? It's there waiting for you to go pick it up. Go to the website. You can check out the inventory and then decide which one you want. Okay. Again, that's JL Lane Truck and Auto, and all the cars. You have undergone extensive inspection, vigorous and rigorous inspections on that car to make sure that when you walk off that lot, when you drive off that lot, you won't have any problem. The only time you'll bring that car back, it won't be for trouble. It's to get another one. Okay, I'm just telling you, J.L. Lane, Mr. Jim Lane, and you got Steve over there. Those guys do a wonderful job. You sit down at the table with them, you talk about what your needs are, and you guys reach an agreement, and you are walking. So you may come in walking, but you leave riding and talking. I'm just trying to tell you, the good folks over there, good folks. I'm gonna get Z a car at the end of the year. Well, when he hits 17. We're not gonna buy anybody a car at 16 years old. It's too young. Okay, get on the bus, like I used to have to do it. I'm just saying, you might want to, but he's going to get his car from there, as a matter of fact. So if you're ready to ride, the address is 208 Gun Road, or you can give them a call, 334-272-4313. Now, that is not a text number. That's a landline, 272-4313. And if they don't have it, ask Steve if he can get it. Okay, I'm just saying, they'll take care of you, okay? J.L. Lane Truck and Auto, JLLaneTruckandAuto.com. Go check them out. Okay, it's 8:09 in the morning. You can give us a call. Listen. One thing I am not. One thing I'm not a professional educator, and professional educators will let you know that in a heartbeat that you're not a professional educator. I got that part, but I have been a student. I've been a student in military schools, spent some time in college, civilian schools. So I have been a student. Okay, I know what atmosphere is needed, at least to start the learning process. Okay, I know that. But I'm telling you, it's almost like somebody sent a word down that says you cannot use the word discipline in public schools. And this idiocy about, well, it's in our DNA because we can't do it because the white man used to have us do this and have us do that. Well, didn't your mom and daddy have you do the same thing? There's never been anybody that has ever been successful in this life without employing and calling on some discipline in their own lives, or disciplined by others. I don't know why it is a word that you cannot use. We need to bring that word back. Discipline, whether it's at a football game or in the classroom. And as a matter of fact, I'm not the only one that was complaining about the chaos in some of the rooms. I'm not the only one. Now, I got to tell you, though, if it comes to that point, then I will start calling out principals. I'll do that. Okay, I'm trying to cut them some slack because I'm thinking they're doing only what the head shed tells them what to do. But the gloves are off. I'm tired of paying. Somebody got who's this lady last night at the thing said, we're paying you $255,000. And I agree with her. This is not his first job. This is not superintendent's first job. I want to know philosophically what you believe. And evidently, they don't believe in using the word discipline. They believe in blaming the parents, and the parents probably are to blame. But I don't care about that. When they show up at school, it is the school. They are loco parentis. They are the parents at that school. Don't give me no more excuses about where they came from the community. Every child that's ever been born came from the community. Some of them are good, some of them are great, but they still came from the community. And if they never see discipline, and think about this for 1 second. If you don't see discipline at home, and you don't see discipline at school, because nobody expects it of you, then the only place you're going to see discipline is in jail. Either Mount Meigs or the county jail or one of these terrible, terrible prisons. So do we really want to put our children in the way of going to jail where they're stuck in a hot-ass prison, getting cut, getting shanked, getting killed in prisons because nobody ever told them that you couldn't have everything in your life that you want just because you want it? Sometimes you got to put in the work. And that means discipline. Okay? So if they never see it from their parents or the school, then the first place they're going to run into it is from a Montgomery policeman, a state patrolman, or somebody else who tells them to do something and they figure they don't have to do it. And then the story begins all over again. That's my only thing. The word discipline has been stricken from the books of school systems all across America, except the private schools. So that's all I'm saying. I don't know why these educators cannot understand that. Again, the only place we seem to understand it now is on football teams, baseball teams, track teams, and all these other basketball teams. We don't mind using discipline to bring home a state trophy. Well, let me tell you something. Then I'm going to go to the phone. There's one trophy you get out of school by attending it and completing it, and that's a life trophy, because it puts you on the freeway. It puts you on the highway to success. Doesn't mean you're going to be successful, but at least it gets you to the highway. But without discipline, you can't even find the alley. I'm just telling you, that's where. So I don't know why these educators, they all know it because they all had it. They all know it. But they can't seem to, politically, we can't seem to use the word anymore in our public school system across America, especially in schools that are predominantly Black. We'd rather sit there and make excuses for their failure rather than expect them to be excellent. I'm sorry. I'm not buying. Okay, I'm not buying. Do not create an atmosphere so my son cannot get a decent education. And I fought like everybody else to get these taxes raised on my little bitty house. So because you guys told me all we need is more money. All we need is more money and everything gonna be all right. I'm sorry. That's the biggest lie from a pit of hell. You can do just as good with a bad building as you can with a new building. And you can do just as bad in a new building as you can in a bad building. It's excellence, 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 excellent, excellent is what our standard should be. Then I'll let you go after I tell you this. You know, somebody once said that Benjamin Elijah Mays or Washington Carver once said, I don't mind if you have a high goal and miss. But what I mind is if you have a low goal and hit. Okay? So let's up the goals for our kids in public school. Stop making excuses for them. Okay. And again, here's the big deal is in our public school system, these educrats are used to making excuses for failure rather than getting the mission done. And that's the big difference between civilian world and military world. Nobody wants to hear excuses. They give you a mission, they give you a job, and believe me, you either get the mission accomplished or you're gonna have a little less on your collar or your bars or whatever you're wearing. Anyway, 860-1440 is our number here. So let's go to phone. Let's go to phone. Let's go to phone. Did I get? Yeah, I got that. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning. Oh, okay then. Yeah. Well, Eric. Did we? Well, you know, listen, you may be right because last night when I kept asking people, why can't we use this word? It's part of the lexicon. So why can't we use it? And nobody wants to use it. If you know that, we live in a town of 100,000 people. Everybody in this city is some way related to somebody. So if they can do the job, right? Okay. Okay. Then you go to highly qualified. Okay, but are you qualified to do the job? Are you qualified to do the job? Okay. Okay, but now let me ask you something. Now I want you to be absolutely honest with me here, okay? Okay, you're an honest guy. Have you ever benefited from knowing somebody? Okay, Case closed. case, case closed. We all have. Okay. Matter. Well, yeah. And now they got to pay $25,000. Is that why they have to pay $25,000 to the historical association? $25,000 for every school every school they rename without going through a process. If they rename them, I guess it was $25,000 they had to come up with. Oh, was that okay? Mm, that's right. 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 Well, but here's the problem. But here's the thing. Now, I'm a reasonable guy. You're a reasonable guy, and we all want the best for our kids. Even animals want the best for their children because that's why the animals, even roaches. I saw the baby roach the other day crawling across the counter there. Not that I got a bunch of them, but I've just had a couple there, and he was following his mama. Now I let him go. You know why I let him go? Because he was following his mama. I get him later. I get I get him later. But so right. So we all want the best for our kids. So if we as teachers and educators and grown people, okay, see that you want the best for our kids rather than making excuses for the behavior, I think we can get people involved in the process in the classroom too, because those are coaches. Those are coaches in that classroom. If you tell me you're going to make my kid the best, if you tell me you're going to make my kid the best kid in that school in math, my doggone, you got my support. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. I don't give a crap about their feelings. Uh, okay, appreciate it. Let me see. Good morning. Good morning, Dr. J. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. But isn't part of being disciplined being respectful? Yeah, right. Whether you want it or not, it's coming. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you bring up an interesting point. I've often said that one of the problems with the younger generations, they see the product, but what we won't introduce them to is the process. And you see me with a new car, but what you don't understand, before I got this new car, I drove a whole bunch of smoking cars down the road that the police would stop me every once in a while and say, hey, you need to get that thing fixed. So they see the product without the process, and there is no product without the process. So, mhm. That's true. And again, without life, there is nothing else to be said. So, yeah. All right. Appreciate it. And it is the foundation of success. It's discipline. It's the foundation. Can't skip it. Good morning. Pretty good. Hey, we pay to go in public. We pay to go in public school too. There is no law. There is no law on the books that I have seen in 31 years in this city that says you have to put up with incorrigibility, disrespect, and tantrum. There's no law that says that. That's just an excuse we use because we're lazy. There's nobody that had to put up with that. Nobody. But again, though, that's wait a minute. That's discipline. because I'm not going to do the things that I'm not supposed to do. Right. I just don't get it, man. Prove that to me. Prove that to me. And they doing more, and they do more with less than we do. Let me ask you something. Well, again, it is not illegal to pray in school. No, no. They said that They said that a teacher cannot lead that prayer, but there's not a student in school who can't sit at their desk and pray to the good Lord they pass that test. Okay. Well, I don't. Right. I doubt right now. I've never heard of any public school student complaining about praying. I saw that the other day, right? And again, we as the community and the teaching apparatus, we allow these things to happen. What they're going to do, if you are a principal of a school and you say, they can say a little prayer on the sideline, don't bother me at all. Yeah. He said something about, no. He was saying teaching sexual things to kids in kindergarten and the first grade, and I totally agree with him. There's no reason in God's earth to do that. Yeah. Well, then you don't need much to eat then, because that ain't gonna stop me. Yeah. But we are certainly the highest ones on the totem pole when it comes to football. Gotta take a break. So why is it that we are willing to let our coaches do whatever they need to do to produce a winning team? Well, I'm telling you that every teacher in every classroom in the city of Montgomery is a coach. Why not give them the power to make the best team that they can get? If you tell them long enough that how great they are and how smart they are, it begins to stick with them. Excellence should be our goal, not mediocrity. We'll be back. And the only way you get there, you got to have some discipline. We'll be back.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Mattress Firm. The hottest summer deals are at Mattress Firm. Shop their best sale of the year and save up to $700 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets. Plus, you'll even get a $300 instant gift good towards sleep accessories.
Good morning, Montgomery. We've got trouble still on 85 southbound. We've got 2 accidents. Now we've got one reported on East Boulevard at Carmichael. Keep your eyes open there. Along with Troy and Bell, there's an accident at that location, so be careful in all those areas. 85 South, Erie Hill, that's backed up past Bell. Troy and Bell and East Boulevard at Carmichael. A huge shipment of Toyota Camrys and Highlanders is arriving at Reinhardt Toyota. This is the selection you've been waiting for, and they've got to go. Reinhardt Toyota on the East Boulevard. Buckle up for Montgomery Skywatch. This is me.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
This is what you call a success? If this is a success, what other successes do you want to force on the American people? You're going to call your border a success? Begging OPEC for oil, is that a success? Getting threatened by China, is that a success? Taiwan reunification, is that a success? North Korea starting up their nuclear reactors, is that a success? We left Americans behind. We left them behind enemy lines. There are no troops on the ground to help them. They have been abandoned by you, and you're calling that a success with unparalleled results? No, Joe, this is a disaster, an unmitigated disaster. If this is success, I don't know how do you define failure.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Listen, the last time the economy looked like this, the stock market tanked 50%. The U.S. dollar lost 46% of its value, and the price of oil quadrupled. Yet, while the U.S. economy collapsed and inflation ran through the roof, the price of gold shot up 1,300%, and silver rocketed over 2,400%. So, if history repeats itself, we could see it happen again. Can you afford to miss what could be the biggest gold and silver boom of our generation? That's why I want you to call Goldco at 855-815-GOLD. Because when you do, you'll not only get the chance to protect your retirement savings with gold and silver. As a Sean Hannity listener, you could get $10,000 or more in free silver just for doing it. This is a rare opportunity, so don't miss out. Call 855-815-GOLD. That's 855-815-GOLD. Call Goldco today. 855-815-GOLD.
It could be information to change your life forever. Or the Something You Should Know podcast could just be something interesting.
I'm talking with Brian Hare, author of the book Survival of the Friendliest. Because our minds are built for friendliness, we survived and those other species went extinct. Friendliness leads to cooperation, which leads to innovation, which leads to civilization. If only I could say it so concisely. Yeah, maybe I should be interviewed by me on this show.
Join Mike Carruthers and guests for Something You Should Know. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Here's the deal. I've had constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating for years. I've tried a lot of laxatives and fiber supplements, but my symptoms keep coming back.
You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by Appian Ironwood.
Let's face it, food shortages are a real threat now. Supply chain breakdowns, inflation, fuel prices, global conflicts, fertilizer cutbacks, farmers being encouraged not to plant. The stage is set for the peanut butter to hit the fan. But for some reason, Americans are still in denial about food shortages. Listen, we don't take risks with other things in our lives, so why take risks with your food security? Those who know what's coming are using today to prepare. Millions of Americans have purchased ready-hour emergency food from My Patriot Supply, the brand people look for when they're ready for real preparedness. MyPatriotSupply.com is America's largest preparedness company. Get stocked up on emergency food that lasts up to 25 years in storage to get you through tough times ahead. Your other choice is to stand in government food lines, hoping for a handout. As we both know, that's not an option. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now. MyPatriotSupply.com.
He's the voice of the conservative millennial.
Ben Shapiro.
The Ben Shapiro Show, tonight at 8 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Alrighty then. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing okay. We were talking about the meeting last night, the town hall meeting last night at the at JD School. I like that school over there too. As a matter of fact, yesterday was the first time I'd ever been in that school. It looked like a pretty decent school, to tell you the truth. But I don't know what goes on in there. But I stopped and talked to some students, and some of the students said their biggest complaint was discipline. I mean, that's what the kids said. So I was just putting forth the message that they gave me also. Good morning. Yes. Are women? Why would you think? Oh, well, yeah, that may be true about that. Mm-hmm. 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 I understand. And everybody, listen, everybody know who it was too. Mine was Mr. Wellborn. Mr. Wellborn put the wood on you, and you can sit there and try not to cry if you don't want to, because all your boys in there looking at you. Lord have mercy, the tears coming down. Oh, Lord, woo! Yeah. Yeah. Well, right. And another thing, if you can't find daddy, which I blame both the parents, both of them, you picked them, you had them, so you need to go find out where he is and get him involved in your child's life. He ain't got to live with you, he ain't got to be there, but he needs to be involved in that child's life some kind of way. And I think judges ought to start holding these absent fathers accountable for what their kids do also. You ain't got to be with mama. Yeah, yeah, it does. Mm-hmm. Mama. Always thinking mama. Yeah, yeah. No, never think. Even when daddy there, they won't think it. So I mean, yeah, well, you know, that's where it goes. We matter of fact, Father's Day don't even get much, don't even get but a little bit of blip on the screen during June. But Mama Day, Lord have mercy, that whoo, yeah. And ain't no mamas without no daddies. Yeah, we just fellas. Appreciate it. 860-1440 is our number here. You can text me 241-9998 if you can't get in on the line. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. I'm doing fine. I don't know why y'all keep asking me that. I don't know why y'all keep asking me that. Just get to the point, brother. I know, but you get on my nerve. Yeah.
Line up against the wall. We gonna say Bible prayer, and we gonna sing Jesus loves me. We gonna sing Jesus loves me every morning. That's what Miss Simpson did every morning, and that was good. Today, I don't know what's going on. You don't know either, but God, He all and knows. And look around the world, my friend. He said He's gonna judge the righteous, and He is. How He said that He angry with the wicked every day, and we see some of God angry every day on television, and by the news, on the radio, and believe me, my friend, but I want to tell you, my friend, and I really mean this, repent, repent, repent. Have a good day, my friend.
All right. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this? Doing fine. How are you? Mm-hmm. Right. Right. That's right. Because you're gonna get disciplined one way or the other. You're gonna get disciplined either now or later, but you will get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I understand. There's some things to make an impression on you. There is. All right, appreciate it. And let me ask this question, then I go for my last break of the hour. And I believe somebody just sent me a text, and I'll tell you what it says. It says discipline is in the student handbook, and it says read the handbook and see what the principal's authority is. He said that's black folks' problem. We complain but never look at the mirror and see the solution. I think we as a community, as black folks, I'm black folk. I know y'all don't think I am, but I am proud to be black, as a matter of fact. We have to really look in the mirror and ask, what do we want? Do we want to put our kids in the greatest position to be successful? Okay? Stop blaming Mr. White Man for everything. There ain't no white man in Montgomery Public Schools. Well, there's a couple. I seen one the other day, as a matter of fact. But I don't know if there's any white folks teaching in public schools or not. I don't even know. But we gotta stop. Like this guy told me last night at the meeting. He said, "Well, it's in our DNA to rebel against discipline because what they used to do to us." Now I'm familiar with a lot of things that happened back in the day. Some even happened to me. But I don't ever remember anything that happened to me that was given to me genetically. I don't. Okay. I like cornbread. Maybe cornbread. I like cornbread and I hated cabbage, but now I love cabbage because the belt was put on me. So that discipline worked on me because I would sit at the table, put the cabbage in my jaw, and I would not eat that crap. I wouldn't. But after I got the wood a few times, Mama said, if I put it in front of you, eat it. And now I love me some cabbage now. I gotta say, as long as I got cornbread with it. So discipline got me to like cabbage. Okay, because I wouldn't eat it. I'd sit at that table and pout, and I wouldn't eat that stuff for nothing in the world. But by the time 12 o'clock rolled around at nighttime and a good piece of wood, I had to eat it. So sometimes discipline could take us to places that we didn't know. It can have us do things that we didn't realize that we could do, like eating cabbage. I just couldn't handle it. But okay, now, I love cabbage now. That's good discipline. All right. Now I still, and I'll eat some beans, but the one thing I will not eat is okra. I'm sorry. I can't do it. That's worth getting a butt whooping. It's okra. Yeah, I would take a butt whooping 14,000 times. I would not eat okra. It looked like snot. And my mother had now she did bend me over a few times and make me try to eat that okra. But that's the one thing I would not eat. It's okra. But the cabbage, we worked that out. But we couldn't work out the okra. Woo! God, that's some bad stuff. We'll be back.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Dick's Sporting Goods. A new Dick's Sporting Goods warehouse sales store is now open in Montgomery at the shops at East Chase. Check out can't miss deals for the entire family. Get ready to save up to 70% off on thousands of items. Grand opening celebration, September 2nd to the 5th.
Most everyone is entirely dry today. There's just a 10% chance of a shower or storm in far southern Alabama. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine after some morning clouds and fog get out of here. Temperatures up into the low 90s. The humidity is high through about lunchtime, and then it actually drops through the afternoon. Lower humidity tonight, mostly clear. Low temperatures, upper 60s to low 70s. That'll feel pretty good. We'll have isolated storms tomorrow, scattered to numerous storms for the holiday weekend. That's your First Alert Forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Accident on 85 southbound cleared. That's good news. Still finishing up the one East Boulevard at Carmichael. And we have a new accident on 231 Wetumpka Highway southbound just before Highway 14. So keep your eyes open there. Whether your credit's perfect or just plain bad, approval for an equity loan on your home or land is just a phone call away. But you have to call Call the A-Team at MCS in Wetumpka, 567-9000, and MLS 232-876. Buckle up, front and back, it's the law for Montgomery Skywatch Traffic. This is major delay.
Waiting was such a mistake. That's one of the things we hear most after we've successfully treated one of our patients for erectile dysfunction. At Montgomery Men's Health, we want you to know first and foremost that waiting is a mistake, because the longer you wait, the more difficult it can be to treat your ED. Using what you've got is important, not just for your relationship, but for your overall health. There's some truth to the phrase, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. At Montgomery Men's Health, we'll fight for your ability to consistently perform without the anxiety that so many men experience. In fact, you might even find you performing like you haven't in a long time. We only treat ED and low T at Montgomery Men's Health, and we've successfully treated many men with protocols that are effective in nearly 90% of cases. We also offer full complement of treatments, including acoustic wave therapy, so you get the one that works best for you. So don't wait. Make an appointment. For just $99, you get a medical consultation, blood work, and a medically advised testimonials. Call today, 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663, or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
Wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Lavage. Lavage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Lavage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Lavage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Lavage. That's because Lavage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Lavage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthy. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
This is Jeff Branco with Chappie's Deli.
And Mike Costanza with Chappie's Deli.
What are you drinking, Mike?
Oh, sorry, Chappie's Deli sweet tea. I love this stuff.
It's so southern and so good.
You know, we did a whole commercial on sweet tea back at the Sahara restaurant.
What restaurant was that, Gramps? Sahara?
Say what, Jeff?
Just kidding, Mike. We all know and love the Sahara. So, getting back to the Chappie's Deli commercial.
Oh, yeah. I remember at the Sahara, the Chicken Supreme. It was so good.
Mike, Chappie's Deli commercial. Our Fiesta chicken wrap or Buffalo City wrap is also very good.
And we had meeting rooms at the Sahara.
Mike, focus here. Chappie's Deli has private meeting rooms for groups and parties too. Call any location.
And cold beer and West Indies salad and crab claws.
Folks, come reminisce and get your southern sweet tea at Chappie's Deli, Perry Hill, Pepper Tree, Prattville, Baptist South Towers, and Auburn.
Another Guardian Credit Union story.
Hey, are we turning the same as usual?
Yeah.
How's your baby girl doing?
She's great, but with 3 kids, you really need more space.
You should check out Guardian Credit Union. We got a home equity line of credit in Guardian to finish our basement. They have low rates and a great team that's easy to work with.
Really?
Yeah, my mom got a Guardian home loan to buy her house. They refinance too.
Thanks. I'll check them out.
Connect with Guardian for all your lending needs.
Join Sean Hannity Sundays at 3 p.m. for the Encore Show.
Chinese, the Russians don't fear Joe Biden.
On News Radio 1440.
You know, I remember not so long ago that one of them credit card companies, sent me a $50,000 line of credit card. That was line of credit on a metal credit card. I should have kept that card, but I sent it back. I said that they had to have the wrong guy. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Mm-hmm. All righty then. Thank you. Good morning. Who's this? Okay then. Okay, I'm gonna turn my caller ID on now. See, I'm gonna find who that is. I'm gonna block that son of a gun. Anyway, good morning to you. How's everybody doing? I went to my mailbox and I felt this card. I didn't know who, because when they send you credit card stuff, you really don't know that it's credit card stuff, right? It's in a plain envelope. I opened it up and the card fell out. It was metal. So you know what I did? I went to East Chase with all the rich people out there, or the ones who think they're rich anyway. And I went out there and I put the card on the up in the box. Well, I wasn't gonna buy anything actually. I was just gonna let everybody know I had a card made of metal. So I put the card up on the desk and I accidentally knocked the card off and it hit the floor. it hit the floor. And everybody looked at me, what kind of credit card is that? I said it's for us well-to-do people, $50,000 line of credit. Now, that was cool, but let me tell you what made me send the card back. They wanted me to pay them $500 a year just to keep the card. And at that moment, I decided that I really was not that important, so I sent the card back. But there are some days I wish I had it. So I'm paying you $500 a year to carry a card with a $50,000 line of credit. Okay, I couldn't, somehow though, I was losing in that picture. Good morning, who's this? Okay, what you doing calling me back? Now, I didn't call your name. I didn't do that. I don't have a computer that does that. Okay, I don't have a computer that does that. Good morning, who's this? Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. Appreciate it. Well, everybody's got an opinion, and that's for sure. It is 8:56 in the morning. People from South Bend, huh? Hey, what school they go to? Riley. I went to Adams. Did they go to Adams? Adams, and they say Clay, Riley. What was the other high school in South Bend? Washington. That's all I remember now. I don't remember all the rest of them now. But it's been a while. Yeah, nobody ever famous ever came from Adams High School, except me. Yeah. I'm a big time talk show host now, so I should go back to my graduation my graduation class one day and show up in a limo. Yeah, but then I have to figure out how to pay for it. I don't have that $50,000 credit card anymore. Okay, won't be going to South Bend for that. But I did go to South Bend when I married my sister a couple of years ago, and that school looks like a college campus now. My Lord. But anyway, remember, so what is the word of the day? Everybody knows what the word of the day is. The word of the day is discipline. Without it, you won't ever be successful in life in any venture by which you go into. You will not have a successful life if you don't employ some discipline. Okay, without that, the rest is a waste of time. I'm just saying, you might want to tell your kids in your classroom, discipline is a must. It is a one ingredient. It's like making cornbread. Oh, wait a minute. It's like making dressing without eggs. It takes eggs to make dressing. That's how it gets fluffy and all that kind of stuff. Okay, you can't do it. I'm just saying. Discipline is important. Okay. Well, it's Thursday. I don't know who's coming, but somebody is. Hopefully. Okay. Anything else I need to tell people about this morning? Okay. All right. Well, a little Barry Manilow for you, because Barry Manilow is the man. Okay, he likes men, but I ain't mad at it. He puts out great music. Okay. See, I told you I'm not anti-gay or anything like that. Just don't try to convince me you're a woman when I know you're a guy. That's all. Now, you can think you one. That's good. But don't try to convince me that you're one scientifically. Bye.
Your WSFA 12 news update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Wednesday. President Joe Biden was working in Pennsylvania last night where he called on Congress to revive a long-expired federal ban on assault-style weapons. The president laid out the framework of his Safe for America plan. He's also asking Congress to give more than $10 billion in funding to local police departments over the next 5 years. First it was flooding, now the water is causing a different problem in Jackson, Mississippi. It once again has a water problem. Right now, the city's water system can't produce enough safe water for the residents. More than 150,000 people in Jackson are looking for drinkable water. The city's main water treatment plant failed. It remains under a state of emergency. And a man credited for peacefully bringing an end to the Cold War who died. Tuesday afternoon, Russian media reported the death of former USSR President Mikhail Gorbachev. Gorbachev was the last president of the Soviet Union before it dissolved in 1991. He was 91 years old. That's your news on this Wednesday.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 FM of Montgomery, a cumulative